Welcome. So, Pi Network is moving at an absolutely incredible pace right now. What started out as a simple mobile mining app is, well, it's quickly turning into a fully functional Web3 ecosystem.
It really is. It's almost hard to keep track of everything. So today, we're going to break it all down. The 5 key pillars that are really making this transformation happen. We're here to connect the dots for you.
You know, this quote from the core team really gets to the heart of it. It perfectly captures the huge shift that we're all watching unfold. Pi is moving past that initial phase and is now building the real foundations of a decentralized economy. It's a huge moment for the entire network.
And here we go. This is the perfect roadmap for our explainer today. We're going to look at the network upgrades, the app ecosystem, the brand new Launchpad, how it's connecting to the outside world, and maybe the most important part, your role, the community's role. Each one is a pillar holding this whole new structure up. So Nova, where should we even begin?
We're going to start with the most fundamental pillar, the core technology. It's called Protocol 20, and it's basically the engine that makes everything else we're about to talk about even possible. This is a massive upgrade to the blockchain itself.
What this upgrade does is it provides the complete infrastructure to run what are called smart contracts directly on the Pi blockchain. And look, this isn't just some minor tweak. It fundamentally changes what can be built on the network. It really opens the door for everything from decentralized finance to really complex, powerful apps.
Okay, wait a second. Let's pause there. For any pioneers out there who aren't developers, what does that actually mean in simple terms? Because smart contract sounds pretty complicated.
That's a great question. The easiest way to think of a smart contract is like a digital vending machine. You put in a coin, that's the condition, and the machine automatically gives you a snack. That's the execution. There's no person in the middle. It's just a self-executing agreement that lives on the blockchain, and it's the foundation for all of decentralized finance.
Now what's really striking here is just how fast this happened. The network's main nodes upgraded from version 19.6 all the way to 20.2 in just 26 days. I mean, for a network of this size, that is a remarkably fast progression. It just shows a serious commitment to rapid development.
Okay, so that new technical foundation is in place. That makes sense. So the next pillar has to be about building a real internal economy on top of it. This is where the utility of Pi really starts to come to life.
Exactly. And that economy is really powered by 2 core components. First, you have the Pi App Studio on Mainnet, which is what lets developers build apps using real Pi for payments. And then you have the announcement for the Pi Launchpad, which is a totally new way to discover and support projects.
The most important thing to understand here is the move from testnet to mainnet. For anyone who doesn't know, the testnet is basically a practice environment. The mainnet is the real deal, the live blockchain. So this means developers can now take their apps from practice to reality, integrating actual Pi transactions and creating real, sustainable business models.
And this number is it's staggering. Developers aren't building for an empty room here. From day one, they get access to a massive authenticated user base of over 17.7 million people. That is an unbelievable advantage in the super competitive world of app development.
It really is. And the Pi Launchpad uses this huge user base in such a unique way. You know, unlike traditional crypto launches that are all about fundraising, the Pi model is totally focused on utility. You can almost think of it like an app store for Web3, where the tokens are designed to be used inside of apps, not just speculated on.
Precisely. And the mechanics of this are actually quite ingenious. The money from a token launch isn't just pocketed by the developers. Instead, it's automatically paired with a new token and put into something called a liquidity pool. What this does is it provides instant stability and helps prevent that extreme volatility that we see so often with new crypto projects.
So, we've got the foundation and we've got the internal economy. The next logical step, and our third major pillar, is connecting that economy to the wider crypto world.
And what a connection this is. It's as Pi Network arrives on Kraken. This is absolutely massive news for pioneers. Kraken is one of the most established and highly regulated exchanges on the planet. This listing is a huge step towards mainstream legitimacy.
And this wasn't a random listing either. It was made possible by a critical compliance step called KYB, which stands for Know Your Business. This is basically a verification process that makes sure trusted services, like an exchange, meet the network's security and regulatory standards before they can connect. It's all about building a secure, trustworthy bridge to the outside world.
And you can see the process was very methodical. First, the KYB verification, then the technical platform integration, and finally, the listing itself. This structured, professional approach just reinforces the project's serious, long-term strategy.
And the impact of this is just huge. It creates real connections to the wider crypto ecosystem, gives Pi incredible global visibility, and expands its entire Web3 infrastructure. We're talking about opening the door to millions of traders and a global audience that might be hearing about Pi for the very first time.
Which brings us to our final and maybe most important pillar, the community. With all of this new infrastructure now in place, the focus really shifts back to you, the pioneers, and your central role in driving the ecosystem's growth and its utility.
Exactly. This is a call to action. The Pioneers Utility Challenge here is all about encouraging everyone to get involved. You see the words create, explore, develop, propose. It's an open invitation. So whether you're a developer, a creator, or just someone who's curious, now is the time to start building, testing, and actually using the new apps on the network.
So what can you do right now? Well, first, stay informed through the official channels to avoid any misinformation. Second, participate in that utility challenge. Third, you should check if you're eligible for second migrations to bring more of your Pi over to the mainnet. And finally, and this is the most important one, explore the new apps and start using the ecosystem you've all helped build.
This quote really sums up the moment we're in perfectly. The technical foundation is set, the economy is being built, and now, through regulated processes like KYB, the doors to the world are opening. The Kraken listing isn't the end goal here, it's just the beginning of a much larger global expansion.
Nova. As always, the information we've discussed is for educational purposes. We strongly encourage you to verify everything with official Pi Network sources before making any decisions for yourself.
Area. Thanks for joining us to connect the dots. The ecosystem is really just getting started, and we'll see you in the next one.